Well, well, well. If it isn't me being on time today, if it isn't me, Blakely, being on time today, who's on time now? I should have done this before I went live, actually. Hey, everyone. Hey, everyone. How's it going? It does not. Yes, happy Sunday, everybody. This is election eve Sunday, everybody, because the election is in fact on Tuesday. So that is coming up, my friends. And there are a lot of people on the ballot. Okay. Oh. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I saw like one tweet. I didn't realize it was like a whole thing, but that is kind of funny. That is kind of funny. Leopard eating your face now. I mean, honestly, I am a little surprised that he endorsed him because that guy straight up Islamophobic. Like that guy straight up always antagonizing Muslims, antagonizing Arabs. Ooh, I don't know what I just did. So honestly, I'm kind of low key surprised that that he endorsed him. I did see this one from this woman, this like Paige Shill, and she wrote some shit like, I mean, I'm not as familiar with her as I am with some of the other ones, but I saw this Paige Shill and she's like, of course I endorse Abdul El Sayed. We're not the same. I was like, calm down. You're literally paid. Like, you're literally paid to do propaganda for the Democratic Party. You literally went to some fucking cringe ass like white woman's rip off sale where they were selling these like the chorus creators or whatever. I think this woman's a chorus creator. I think. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure she is. But I forget her name, honestly. Jessica Houston. I forget. But it was something to the effect of like, they're selling these unbearable shirts where they're literally ripping off sayings from activists and then putting on the shirts and like charging like $300 for them. The course creator shills, the Zionist course creator shills. And so oh, she's not? Okay. All right. Somebody just said she's not a part of it. I thought she was. Because she was at the course creator event. There was like an embarrassing course creator event where they were promoting those shirts. It was so embarrassing. The whole thing was so embarrassing. And it was like they were trying to raise money for themselves. And I was like, okay, I guess that's good that you're at least trying to like raise money. Like outside, at least it's not, at least people in this case know where the money is coming from, as opposed like being crowdfunded as opposed to just like the usual dark money anti-left billionaires you guys get your money from. But it was just so embarrassing that I'm like, bro, you take all that money and you're doing a cringe campaign like that. And then you're being like, we're not the same. Oh, indeed, we're not the same. You're literally paid. And not only are you literally paid, you're paid by some of the worst anti-left Zionists, like Brian Tyler Cohen and David A. Pacman. Be serious. Be serious. Yeah, so I thought that was pretty funny. Well, I didn't see all of it, everything. I just saw like one or two tweets, but I wasn't surprised. The K Hive is just like what aren't bots, because a lot of them are bots, but what aren't bots are just hate mongers and trolls and just like really catty, don't care about policy, don't care about like, so that's the kind of community, hateful, bigoted towards Muslims, racist towards Arabs. They fucking hate the left. They hate progressives, and they're all very queer and bi and transphobic. So you cultivate that kind of hateful community. Don't be surprised when they eat you alive. Yeah, it's like a cult. And then they're eating him alive for, I guess, stepping out of the cult a little bit, just by endorsing Abdul al-Sayed, which you absolutely should. Why the fuck, if you are somebody who cares about anything, would you endorse Haley Stevens? Get the fuck out of here. Even if you're a blue MAGA lib, it doesn't even make any fucking sense. The only reason you would endorse her is if you're getting fucking paid to, or you're a Zionist or a Republican. So, of course he should have endorsed her, but it says a lot about the kind of community that he's cultivated, that K-Hive is, that the chorus creators have cultivated, that was their response, and they are eating him the fuck up over it. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Blue MAGA on blue MAGA violence. No, totally. Haley is the better choice. Do we have a bot in here, or is that really somebody who's so like disconnected from reality that they actually think Haley Stevens would be a better choice? Oh, thank you for the watermelon. That was very nice of you, Joseph. Thank you. So we have a lot going on today, okay? Lots going on today. Lots happening. The primary is yes on Tuesday. No, you guys, Abdul El-Sayed has to win. Oh, we probably won't get to it, but we might. If we have enough time. James Carville crying over Hassan Piker again, saying that he's gonna leave the party. Okay, bye. Okay, bye. That should be the reaction of everybody, okay? If he is in the party, I'm gonna leave the party. Bye. Bye. I'm so sorry. Hassan Piker's actually helped people win this year. He's actually helped people win this year. Who has James Carville helped win? Not counting the 90s. You can't go all the way back to 1992, okay? Who has James Carville helped win in the Democratic Party, or primary for that matter, since 94? Okay. That's what I thought. So any hoodle, he should fuck off, okay? Nobody gives a fuck. Literally, nobody gives a fuck. Don't let the door hit you on your dumb ass on the way out, bro. Literally, nobody cares. So there's that. And then what else? We could watch that later. And then also, oh, happy birthday to me. Happy anniversary to me. It's not my birthday, it's my anniversary. 2 years of quitting smoking. I'm very proud of myself. Very proud of myself. I made a video about it. I posted it yesterday, so I don't need to recap everything, but the TLDL on it was that I smoked for a very, very long time. A very, very, very long time. Okay. And I never thought I was going to be able to quit. And I did quit, and I didn't announce it on my year anniversary, which is when most people do, because I didn't trust myself and I was afraid that I wasn't going to follow through with it, or that I was going to relapse. I just didn't feel strong enough yet in my like resolve and like my like whatever strength, because I love smoking so much, and I smoked for 18 years. But I made it to 2. So congratulations to me. Was quitting smoking the hardest out of all of the habits? No, actually, most people say that, But I don't know if anything has ever been harder for me than it was to quit drinking, to get sober. However, that is coming with the caveat of I was on Chantix, which literally was a lifesaver. When I tried to quit smoking before, I couldn't get out of bed. So maybe smoking might have been the hardest, because I did try to quit smoking multiple times with no success. And literally, I could not get out of bed when I was trying to quit smoking on my own. So maybe you could say it was like the hardest. It was when I tried on my own to quit smoking, it was like impossible. It was so hard. I was so depressed. However, Chantix was life-changing. Like, it was a lifesaver. Like, it made it so that it was so, I don't want to say easy to quit smoking, but it wasn't unbearable. It wasn't unbearable the way that it was unbearable when I tried to quit smoking on my own. But I still don't know if I could say that it was harder than quitting drinking, because quitting drinking was torture, actually. No, it was horrible. It was horrible. Combined with the fact that I was having chronic panic attacks when I got sober, that actually got worse when I quit drinking. Like, when I quit drinking, the panic attacks increased, not decreased. So we have that too. I figured that I would do some of my makeup while I'm on the stream. I thought that would be cute and fun. We could keep it cute and fun. No, I'm kidding. I'm just gonna do it just because later. Yes, but I will say that quitting smoking, especially when I didn't have the assistance of Chantix, was incredibly impossible for me. Some people quit smoking cold turkey. I don't know how they did it. I tried to do that. It didn't work. I tried I'm just going to do it gradually. It didn't work. And it was really hard because, like I said in the video, smoking was so much a part of who I was. And my life completely revolved around it, just like drinking. My life completely revolved around drinking when I was going to have my next drink. And same with smoking. No, not smoking. Smoking cigarettes. That's how little people smoke nowadays. People smoke so little, cigarettes little, that they don't realize you're talking about cigarettes when you say smoking. So I have to clarify that I am talking about cigarettes. I was looking for my... I forgot. Yeah, there was like a couple things that I forgot to add yesterday in the video, but like one of them was the only other time that I quit smoking, and I did have to quit cold turkey because I didn't have a choice, was when I was in rehab. I went to a rehab for 9 months, a Christian rehab for 9 months, and I wasn't able to smoke there. That was horrible. That was so hard. And I smoked twice while I was there, or I guess a couple times. We got like a break where we could go out, and like at the time I was still with my first husband, so I was able to like spend the day with my first husband, but I had to come back at night, so I would smoke all day while I was with him. And then when I got to go back home for a break, I smoked then. So I did smoke periodically throughout the 9 months. It wasn't like, but for the most part, I wasn't able to. That sucked. And then, of course, the second I got to the airport, because I went to rehab in St. Louis, not literally in St. Louis. It was in this place called Fenton, Missouri, like outside of St. Louis. But the second I got on the plane to go home, I was smoking again, literally. Oh, you know what? I realized that we don't have a moderator in here today, which is why I just saw some yikes flags show up in my chat. Who is this troll? Christian rehab sounds like torture. Thank you, Saito. Thank you for the super chat. First super chat of the stream. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I don't know if you saw my video yesterday, but I was liking my makeup yesterday. I'm going to do a similar look today, which is just like a light, chill vibe summer look. Nothing crazy. But thank you so much for the super chat. Just to let everybody know, do my little spiel that it is your support that makes this possible for me to do these streams. So thank you so much. Sending super chats is a great way to help the stream and a great way to support my work and my channel, which is why I set a super chat goal every single stream, as you can probably see in the YouTube channel, that I set the super chat goals in, and I try to make them. If I do make them, I just do a longer version of the stream, and we usually get to a clip that we didn't get to during the stream, which might be the James Carville one today if we don't get to it. I don't know. Or it could be whatever, something else. It might be the settler saying that non-Jewish lives don't matter. We might get to that too. But yes, so if you're able to give a super chat during this stream, it helps a lot to help me meet the goal. The purpose of meeting the goal, obviously, is to help my channel, but also help the channel in the algorithm, get it seen more by more people, signaling to YouTube, things like that. So thank you in advance to everybody who sent super chats. Also, shout out to all of my YouTube members, my patrons, my Ko-Fi members, and my Twitch subscribers. Subscribing on Twitch or becoming a member on YouTube or becoming a monthly patron or a monthly Ko-Fi member also really, really helps my content and supports the channel. So thank you so much to everybody, and shout out to all my members there. Shout out to my mod who is not here today, but we love Boney. So I guess I'll be modding myself today. And just know, if you are in here and you're a troll, I'm not going to read your stupid comments unless there's money attached to it. That's the rule. I don't read stupid troll comments unless there's a super chat attached to it. And even then, if it's too vulgar, I might not even do that. But so just know that I'm not reading your dumb comments. So yeah. So anyway, thank you to everybody that. Please subscribe to all my channels. Hit the like and subscribe. That's also, a great way to help the channel. Watching the videos all the way through, that helps the channel. Yada, yada, yada. I think that's everything. If you want to tip me, you can tip me on using Cash App or Venmo. People will just, tip for the content that they appreciate. Same way that you tip at a restaurant, or whatever. Although there are some places that ask you to tip for shit, and I'm like, be so serious. I literally did all the work. Like, don't ask for tips for people if you're literally doing all the work. Thank you so much, Dawn, for the super chat. Dawn, an OG member. Okay, Dawn is a real one. Dawn's been a member since I started this channel. Thank you so much for the super chat, Dawn. Haley will run through your entire defense and score for Israel. I also love that you use the emojis. Yes, if you are a member on this channel, I love it when you guys use the Melvin and Eggert emojis. Oh, I actually used his Christian name this time. I never use his Christian name. Eggert. I call him Eggett or Eggy. Thank you, Dawn. Look at Shuggin. Why, you great? Look at you sleep. Ow. My little baby. My little baby. Thank you, Dawn. Melvin is in the other room. He likes to hang out with his dad a lot. Little traitor. Little misogynist. Just kidding. Thank you, Whitney, for the super chat. Keep up the good work, kid. I can't imagine rehab without. I know. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the super chat. And thank you for the kind words. Yes. No, it was difficult. It was difficult. It was like, and it wasn't just for alcoholics. I was also there to be treated for an eating disorder. And I was also being treated there for anxiety. It was like a catch-all. They didn't even call it a rehab because it was Christian. They called it a center for women, because at the time I was still cis. I did not come out as non-binary until a couple of years ago. So this was back in 2013. So it was a center for women with life-controlling issues, which meant anything from drug addiction, alcohol addiction, eating. There was a lot of women with eating disorders there, food addiction, or other types of, EDs. Also, women who were victims of trafficking were there. There were a lot of women who were victims of trafficking there. So yeah, at times it was rough. Definitely at times it was rough. But I will say it put me on the path to where I'm at now. And I'm always going to be grateful for that. I'm always going to be grateful for, don't get me wrong, there were definitely things about it that I'm like, really? Woo! That I'm like, really, bro? That almost fell, and it almost fell my coffee! Bruh. But there were definitely things about it that I'm like, bruh, but I will always be grateful for the path that it put me on. That it was what put me on the path. It was what made me open to being on medication, ironically, because a lot of Christians are against medication, but it was what made me be open to it when I had been so opposed to it before. And I fought them tooth and nail. Like, I literally fought them the whole time when they were trying to get me to get on medication. I kept being like, no, no, no. I have to get healed. I have to get healed. And it wasn't until I almost got kicked out for breaking the rules. And then they were like, you have to get on medication. And I finally agreed because I don't want to get kicked out. I did not want to get kicked out. So I agreed to get on medication. So it put me on the path to that. And it also put me on the path to sobriety. Because before that, I was so unwilling to go to any other form of treatment. I was unwilling to go to 12-step. I was unwilling to do anything because I kept thinking that I needed to be healed and pray it away. It wasn't until I went there and then it didn't work to fix my alcoholism. And I relapsed as soon as I left, and I continued to struggle and drink for over a year and a half, that I finally was open to trying something else. So had I not gone to that place, I wouldn't have been open to finding other ways of treatment, if that makes sense. So I'm always going to be grateful for that too. And it did help me in ways, So I might need to heat this up. All right, guys, remember to try to keep it cute in the chat. Of course, I want you to express yourselves and everything. Just don't say anything to get yourself or anyone in trouble. Just don't say anything that is going to get you in trouble or kicked out, okay? Let's keep it cute. Okay, so yeah. And obviously, as you guys know from me celebrating my quitting smoking anniversary yesterday, that I didn't quit smoking for 13 years after that. Because I didn't, or 12 years. Because obviously when I went to this Christian rehab, that was 2013. I got sober in 2014, in the summer of 2014. So a year and a half later, because I went in January. And then I didn't quit smoking for another 10 years after that. That's the other thing that I'm always going to be grateful for the Christian rehab that I went to. And I should mention that it was free. That was a big one. I didn't have any money. I didn't have any family. And by that, I mean, of course, I have my sisters, but you guys know that, that's my family. I didn't have extended family. I am estranged from my mom, and I have not talked to her in 21 years. At the time that I went to this Christian rehab, I was still no contact with my dad. I hadn't reconciled with my father yet, and I had been no contact with him at the time for 6 years. I had nothing. I would have been so fucked. But this Christian rehab accepted me into their program for free. And it was a nice program. It was not a shit program where, like some of the Salvation Army ones or some of the state Medicaid programs that are like fucking janky as hell and really yikes. I mean, this was a nice program. We ate good food. It was a beautiful house. So I'll always be grateful for that too, because I had nowhere else to go. I didn't have the option. A lot of people, including my ex-husband, when he would always decide he was going to get sober for 5 minutes, he had his parents. And no shade to people who have their parents and have help, that's great. But like even, other men that I've known or people that I've known in general that get sober, they oftentimes do have their parents to help them get back on their feet, to move in with their parents, to go to rehab, to pay for it. They're on their parents' insurance if they're young. I didn't have any of that. I had literally nothing. My sisters, like I said, were really supportive, but that's the only family I have. And there wasn't much they could do because none of them were living in New York at the time. At the time that this happened and I went, I was the only one of my sisters who was living in New York. I still am the only one of my sisters living in New York. One of my sisters still lives in Colorado. She never left Colorado. And then my other sisters all live in Massachusetts. There wasn't anything they could do, except for they did help me because they took my dog. My dog that ended up getting stolen, I've told you guys about. That was incredibly traumatizing. My dog who ended up getting stolen by this ugly fuck. This ugly fucking piece of shit. Probably one of the ugliest women I've ever seen in my life. My dog who got stolen by her, at the time, this was obviously before she got stolen, so my sisters took care of my dog while I was there. I still even hate thinking about that. Anyway, we're about to get into the news. I'm going to heat up my coffee. I just wanted to kind of share that with you guys and tell people that if you are struggling with addiction, you're not alone. You're not alone and you can do it. You can do it. If you are struggling with smoking, if you are struggling with any addiction, there is hope. There is help somewhere, depending on, how you choose to go about getting clean and sober, how you plan on quitting smoking. Even in New York, New York, if you contact the city, they'll give you free patches. And patches work for some people. They didn't work for me, but they do work for some people. So like, if you're trying to quit smoking, there are avenues like that, So just know that there's hope and you're not alone. And I believe in you. If you are trying to get clean, trying to get sober, trying to quit smoking. Whoa! Did I do that? Oh my gosh, I sound like Urkel. Did I do that? I put a heart. Did you guys see that? Did that show up for you too? That's crazy. Does that show up for you guys? Can you see it? That's wild. I did a heart thing and little hearts appeared. That's cute. But anyway, yes. So just know that if you're struggling, if I can do it, you can do it. I promise you, if I can do it, you can do it. So I'm going to heat up my coffee and then we are going to I'm aura maxing. And then we're going to get into the news and what we're going to talk about probably for a large part of the stream. We are going to talk about the Senate a little bit too. The race is on Tuesday. And there is, by the way, August 4th is a major primary day. Please, anybody who is in here watching this right now, check your state's primary and see who is running in your state if you don't already know. Because there are a lot of people running in primaries. And speaking of Missouri, so is Cori Bush. Gotta vote for Cori Bush if you live in Missouri 1. Tell your fam. that if they live in Missouri, won to vote for Cori Bush. There are also a lot of other people on the ballot. There are people still also on the ballot in Michigan, obviously aside from Abdul El Sayed, that are on the ballot in Michigan that need to be voted for. APAC tracker put out like a list of like other people that are going to be running, and on the 4th, that have elections on the 4th that are really important elections. I don't know why my phone is ringing like this. Okay. So yeah, we're going to go over that too before the end of the stream, that a lot of people are going to be, what do you call it? There's going to be a lot of races on the ballot, right? There's going to be a lot of races on the ballot tomorrow or Tuesday. So we got to make sure that we're going over that, and that, again, like the Senate race is the most important that is on Tuesday. However, there are other races that are very important on Tuesday, including Cori Bush's race, that we need to go over so that people know, and that you should absolutely check your state's website right now and be like, who is running? Now, I'd imagine that if you're in my chat right now, you're already very politically engaged and you know who's running in your house district. But just in case anybody comes across this stream and doesn't know that maybe somebody's running in their house district, be sure to check, and we'll go over some of the people that are running on Tuesday, that are going to have primaries on Tuesday, that are very, 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 very important. Okay? Okay. So let me heat this up, and then again, oh yeah, we're going to talk about the end. But first, as you guys can maybe tell by the thumbnail that I put up, we are going to be condemning the interview that Melat Kiros did with Margaret Hoover on, I think it's Firing Line. It was low-key reminiscent of the AOC interview that she did with her years ago, but actually so much worse, because in the AOC one, AOC called it an occupation and basically seemed a little overwhelmed and jumped by the question. Melat Kiros is incredibly educated about the subject, is incredibly educated on what is happening in Gaza and in Palestine. We're obviously over 3 years into a genocide, and she used Palestine as a part of her campaign. So her answer is so much worse. So much worse. Total disaster. Total fucking throwing Palestinians under the bus. Totally unacceptable. A lot of people are making excuses for it. There is no excuse for it. There absolutely is no excuse for it. Like, just total disaster. Like, the whole thing. At one point, we're going to read her apology too. At one point, her apology is like, oh, I had a bad line. Girl, it wasn't just a bad line. The entire answer was garbage. Like, the whole answer. It was total disaster. Total disaster. So we're going to get into that. But first, let me heat up my coffee. Also, I don't even believe this, saying that Mike Rogers is leading in the polls. I don't even believe this. I think that they're saying that because they want to scare people into voting for Haley Stevens, because that's Democrats' favorite trick. It's a trick they've used for a really long time. It's how they have gotten corporatists elected over progressives for years. That's how they've done it, by being like, progressives can't win. What, do you want a Republican to win? Do you want a Republican to win? And they scare the shit out of progressives and libs and go, okay, we got to vote for them because the progressive can't win. I mean, that was basically the entire strategy of the Biden campaign. Bernie can't win. Bernie can't beat Trump. Only Biden can beat Trump. I think the difference is now is that thankfully, a lot of people are like, yeah, we did that and you guys failed. And Trump got elected again. So I actually think that some of the libs have actually woken up to that. Some of the libs have even been like, yeah, we listened to you and we listened to you and we listened to you and you got Trump elected a second time, so we're not listening to you anymore. Which good for them. Good for them. So I think that they've gotten away with that for so long. They're trying Old Faithful again. You know what I mean? Okay, so again, I'm gonna go heat up my coffee. I'm gonna leave the dog cam on while I go heat it up. Please make sure, if you already have it, to like and subscribe and share the stream with somebody you know. It would be really great if you shared it with somebody in Michigan or shared it with somebody in somebody that you know needs to vote or doesn't vote or isn't politically engaged. BRB. Yes, and again, a reminder that if you're putting annoying shit in the chat, I'm not reading your stupid comment unless it has money attached to it, okay? BRB. See, because my husband left, now Melvin will come back in. Now Melvin will come. Come here, Baka! Baka! How, Hammy? Oh, somebody said you can just watch the stream at 1.5 speed. Yeah, that's what I do. I watch everything at 1.5 speed, sometimes 2 times speed if they talk really slow, like Norm Finkelstein. No shade, but like he talks really, really slow. So I'll watch his at like 2 times speed. Otherwise, I usually watch everything at 1.5 speed. Like everything. Somebody said, don't let the Zionists divide us. I don't know what that's in reference to because, like, I just walked back in. But let me say, I hope that's not in reference to not criticizing Melat Kiros. I feel like I'm saying her name wrong. And I keep almost saying Kilos. It's not Kilos, it's Kiros. I don't want to hear that. Like, as far as people saying, like, oh, that's dividing the movement by criticizing her. Absolutely. I don't even know if that's what that person meant. Like I said, I just walked back in. But in case, let me preemptively get in front of that and say, absolutely not. Absolutely not. People need to be held accountable, and people need to, guys, just tell me who the really bad faith trolls are, or like who you think are bots, and I'll kick them out. I don't have a mod today. Oh, you were saying just ignore the bots. That's what you were in reference to. Yeah, for the most part, guys, just ignore them. But if there is somebody specific that is either a bot or somebody that's like being really nasty or something, just like give me their name or whatever, and then I'll ban them. Oh yeah, also you guys can individually block them too, by the way. Thanks for shouting that out, Peter Jackson. Yeah, you can individually block them. Anyway, but in regards, I'm going to say it anyway in case anybody does. Regarding if anybody is like, oh, you shouldn't criticize Melat Kiros because it's hurting the movement or whatever, because people have said that even about Zohra Mamdani. The answer that I have to that is absolutely not. No, 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 no. They need to be criticized when they do something wrong, and especially when you're doing some shit like throwing Palestinians under the bus like that, that absolutely needs to be condemned. There can't be any room for that. Like none. There can be no quarter. There can be no room for that. You do not get to get votes and support on the basis that you are a anti-corruption, pro-Palestine liberation candidate, and then win and immediately start talking like a Zionist. No. Yes. John being like, can you get to the fucking point, bro? Yes, I'm sorry. I'm getting to the point now. All right, let's go. This is the clip. This is the disaster clip in question. All right. So I'm going to play the whole thing first, uninterrupted, without my commentary, okay? I'm going to play it first. It's only about 2 minutes, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm going to play the whole thing first with no commentary, and I'm going to let it play, and then I want you guys to tell me what is wrong with it. Just like shout in chat. Put in chat just like some things you noticed that are wrong with her answer. Red flag, so to speak.
Perspectives
or
if you did.
Not even just red flags, just like shit answers.
Ever been to Israel or anywhere in the region? Would it change your mind or open your perspectives if you did?
I'm sure it would, right? Part of the
Actually, I lied. I said I wasn't gonna do it. Pause it and I do something crazy to it. Would you take it and do something crazy to it? I know I said that I wasn't going to pause it. Sorry.
What gives?
Did you guys do take it and do something crazy to it?
But I just want to say, you don't have to visit the region to know that what is happening is fucking vile and is a genocide. There is a photo going around today on Instagram and Twitter and every social media of a baby straight out the womb, dead. A dead baby in rubble with the umbilical cord still attached to it. I don't need to go there to know that's fucking evil. Thanks. Okay, I'll shut up for the rest of it and then we'll get back to it. Thank you for the flower.
work that we've been doing here as well as having conversations with, the Jewish community, specifically the Zionist Jewish community, to, better understand different perspectives, different positions, different experiences. Again, my values have always been rooted in protecting dignity and safety for every single person, especially as it relates to these inalienable things about our religion or ethnicity or our culture. And my greatest concern right now is that the state of Israel is losing support all across the political spectrum here in the US. And I believe that
Why does that concern you?
I think we're leaving a vacuum on the left and the progressive wing to speak to this criticism in a way that is in line with our values, to where people like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, who are raging anti-Semites and white supremacists and Christian nationalists, are pretending to care about Palestinian safety when really it's just masking their overt hatred for Jewish people.
You're singing my song.
And if we are not presenting our vision of what we believe in with our democratic values that extends not just to the Palestinian people, but to the Israeli people and to the Jewish people, you know, that land has a distinctly Jewish character, a distinctly Christian character, a distinctly Muslim character.
Yeah.
It's a land that has seen bloodshed for centuries. And we, I think, are doing a disservice to the people of that region by not offering our progressive vision in a way that isn't immediately swatted down as, you know, bigoted or anti-Semitic. And that's going to require a lot of conversations, a lot of hard conversations. There will be things that we learn, things that there will be missteps and mistakes made. But as long as we're continuing that conversation, we are at the very least presenting an actual vision in line with our values that can combat and hopefully silence a lot of the anti-Semitism that's coming from the right, because we're leaving that vacuum wide open right now if we are afraid to have these conversations.
One of the things
Who's afraid to have the can I tell you guys how difficult it was to actually shut up the entire time? Wait. Rah. No, that took a lot. That took a lot. That took a lot for me to actually be quiet the entire time because there were so many times that I wanted.
ever been to Israel or anywhere in the region?
There were so many times that I wanted to pause it. Okay, so I'm gonna look at chat really quick, and you guys tell me. No, yeah, this entire answer was way worse than anything Rokana said. Way worse than anything Rokana said. Honestly, this answer was so fucking disgusting and so disastrous that it made me think she should lose. Like, it made me really think like she should lose because it's giving you're fucking fake. It's giving you know exactly what the fuck you're doing. No, and like I said, I'm going to be way fucking harder on her than I was on AOC when she did it, or even Rokana, because she knows better. She knows better. And she ran her campaign explicitly talking about this. And there needs to be consequences for people who do this. First of all, I don't want to see anybody making excuses for her. I really don't. I'm not in the fucking mood. I don't want to see people making excuses for her. This was so Fetterwoman. It's unfucking believable. Like, it was so unbelievable. It was so unbelievable. It really was giving John Fetterman, but actually but you know what? It's actually worse than John Fetterman because John Fetterman actually ran on being pro-Israel. I just didn't notice it at the time, if that makes sense. Because at the time, October 7th had not happened yet, and I didn't really know anything. Like, genuinely, I really did not know anything about Israel, Palestine, the occupation, of the Palestinians. I really didn't know anything about it. So I did not catch on to what is the word that I'm looking for? I did not catch on to I don't know why I'm going down. Yeah, this is totally fucking insane that Europe is doing this. Absolutely, totally fucking insane. Okay, let me, sorry, make that clear. The reason why it is so much worse, like I said, with her than it was John Fetterman is because of the fact that John Fetterman actually ran being pro-Israel. He actually did like a paper for them. It was pretty open about it. I just didn't really notice at the time because I was not plugged into what was happening in Gaza or Palestine in general. So that's why I didn't notice. It is actually so much worse with her. Because she knows better. She knows better, and she explicitly ran her campaign on being pro-Palestine. She specifically ran her campaign on being pro-Palestine. So it's actually fucking out of control and totally disastrous and not fucking okay. And there needs to be widespread condemnation of it, not excuses. Nobody needs a bunch of excuses, okay? I'm not interested in excuses. I'm not interested in people making excuses for her. No, there needs to be, let's go back to it. We're going to watch it again and go through it part by part. There needs to be widespread condemnation of this. And again, the left needs to be militant when it comes to this. I am so tired of this shit. The left needs to be very, very, very militant against this. And if that means she fucking loses, then that's what it needs to mean. People cannot accept this. Now, I'm not saying already that she has to lose, that whatever. Yet. But she needs to come out and literally apologize for this. She needs to be on an apology tour, and she needs to be condemning everything that she said and saying what the actual fucking truth is. Basically, I want to see her repair this and repent. And if she's not going to, then she should fucking lose. There can't be any quarter for this. You do not get to run your fucking campaign, grassroots, all of these people showing up for you, knocking doors for you. It was in no small part because of Palestine that she fucking won. And then turn around and immediately throw Palestinians under the bus. Let's watch it again, and we're going to go through piece by piece and why it's garbage. Because I know that there might be a couple people and that are probably good faith that are like, what's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? She's just talking about anti-Semitism. I'm going to tell you exactly what's wrong with it. And again, as I tell you what's wrong with it, I want you to keep in mind that this woman is incredibly educated on the subject. She's not some rando that doesn't really know Israel-Palestine, and so she got caught, and, you know, the cat got her tongue, and she couldn't think on her feet, and blah. No. This woman not only is incredibly educated about what's happening in Palestine, she lost her job for standing up for Palestinian human rights during the beginning of the genocide and ran her campaign in no small part on that. I'm not going to say like she ran her entire campaign on it, because obviously if you're progressive or you're on the left, you're also running your campaign on being anti-corruption, getting money out of politics, Medicare for all. Those are like progressive planks. But it was in no small part because of her position on Palestine. So let's not get it twisted. All right, so let's start it again and go through it. Why it's not fucking okay. Yeah, I hope somebody clips this and sends it to her. Please do. Please do. Tell her to come on my podcast. She would never. She wouldn't. She wouldn't come on. She wouldn't come on stream, come on podcast, come on TikTok live. She wouldn't, because a lot of the times, and let's keep it real, progressives are cowards and they never want to go in unfriendly media. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the Majority Report. I'm a huge Majority Report fan. I've watched them for years. I love Emma. I love Sam. I love Matt. Like, I think it's a great show. But let's keep it a buck. That interview with the AOC, she didn't ask her a single question, a single even slightly adversarial question. And that's the only reason why AOC went on, because she knew she wasn't going to get any adversarial questions. That's not to say that like you have to be a dick every time you interview someone. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. You don't have to be a dick every time you interview someone. Sometimes if you really agree with somebody's positions, it's okay to interview them and be excited about asking them certain questions because you agree with their positions. That's not what I'm saying. That's fine. But like what I am saying is progressives like AOC don't go on media that they think are going to even ask them an even slightly adversarial question. And again, I'm not saying be a dick. I'm not saying Emma should have gone in there and been like, listen, you fucking sellout, Zionist, little mini Nancy Pelosi. Like, I'm not saying that. But like, a little adversarial questioning, something, a follow-up. Like, so again, I doubt very seriously that Melat Kiros would go in any unfriendly media where somebody's actually going to challenge her and ask her that question. Like, even let's say she did an interview with me. I wouldn't be a total fucking bitch to her, you know? Like, but I would ask her these questions. For instance, what was that? What do you mean? Like, whatever. But somebody said they were going to clip it and send it to her. Go ahead. Go ahead. I hope she does see it. I hope she's embarrassed. She should fucking be embarrassed. This is infuriating. It's infuriating. And if you're not actually infuriated by this clip, it's because you're not paying attention. Or you're making excuses for her because you want to see her win. So you want to make excuses for her. That's not how we win, folks. You can't make excuses for shit like this. You can't make excuses for shit like this. And when it comes to the genocide in Gaza, there needs to be no quarter for this trash. Yes, trash. This was garbage. This was absolute, unmitigated, Zionist J Street garbage. And there needs to be no quarter for that on the left. I'm so serious. Especially at this late date. Especially at this late date. And especially given her education on the subject. All right.
You've been doing.
Ever been to Israel or anywhere in the region? Would it change your mind or open your perspectives if you did?
I'm sure it would, right? Part of the work that we've been doing here as well is having conversations with, the Jewish community, specifically the Zionist Jewish community, to, better understand different perspectives, different positions, different experiences.
The framing is already disastrous. The framing is already disastrous because she's like, absolutely. Like, did she get a fucking lobotomy? Did you get a fucking lobotomy before this interview? No, literally, sometimes I honestly wonder, do these people get elected and then get lobotomized or threatened as soon as they get in office? Is that what happens? See, but I know that actually doesn't happen because there are some people in Congress who stand on fucking business when it comes to Palestine. People like Ilhan Omar, people like Rashida Tlaib, who obviously is Palestinian. So it's not like it's impossible. But man, if I didn't know any better, I would actually think that these people go into Congress and they open up like a threat to them, like a threat notebook. And we're like, these are all the things that we have on you. Change. Because what is this 180? What is this 180? This is garbage. Oh, yeah, I'm sure if I did go, it probably would open my mind up to different perspectives. The perspective of what? You want the perspective of Zionists? We know their perspective. Like, isn't this interview giving 2020 or 2018? Isn't it giving 2018 or 2020? Like, the way that the whole thing is framed is like pre-October 7th. Is like pre-genocide. She's giving these answers as if the genocide hasn't been happening for 3 years. As if polling hasn't come out saying that the vast majority of Israeli Jews want to expel Palestinians from the land. We know their perspective. They tell us their perspective. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? I want to get their perspective. We know their perspective. Their perspective is the Palestinians are never going to have a state. They're subhuman scum. We want to expel all of them off the land. There will never be a two-state solution. One Jewish life is the equivalent of 10 million non-Jewish lives, according to settlers. They're setting fucking fire to the entire occupied West Bank. And they want to build settlements on the rubble of Gaza. What do you mean? I want to get their perspective. We know their perspective. Why are you talking like you don't fucking know this? You do know this. I'm so fucking enraged by this answer. I actually feel like people are not fucking mad about it enough. Like, it was so, watching it last night, I was literally fucking fuming watching it. I was like, is this the same person that just won a fucking primary? And again, we're going to get to her fucking apology, but it's a bullshit apology too, because she says that line as if it's one line. It's not one line. It's the whole fucking answer. It's the whole 2.5-minute clip. It's not just one line. I wouldn't be being so hard on her if it was just one line. I'm being hard on her because I think it's really telling. It's a 2.5-minute clip of garbage. It's a 2.5-minute clip of J Street talking points. It honestly feels like somebody from J Street came and gave her a piece of paper and was like, here are your talking points, answer this way. We're going to give you a stern talking to from J Street, and then you're going to answer this list of talking points. You're going to recite them. Thank you so much for the generous super chat, Zora. I really appreciate it. Haley, stop blaming your I saw Red fixing to slap that goofy ass accent manufactured at Z. Michaela skewed the dramatic tricks right out. I know. But Blakely read for filth of insert. Ogre faces your. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Slaps into alignment like a spiritual chiropractor. First of all, thank you so much, Zora, for the very generous super chat. I appreciate you so much. Second, thank you for that comment because that was funny. Spiritual chiropractor. I've never heard that before. I want to use that now. Spiritual chiropractor. I know, she's so fake. She's so fake. And then she can't answer, of course, for the fact that she's got fucking $50+ million in APAC spending. So she, of course, smears him and says he's anti-Semitic because, of course, that's what they always say. We'll get back to her. We'll get back to her. Hey, a GOAT trophy. Thank you for the GOAT trophy. We like the GOAT trophy around here, fam. Folks, we like the GOAT trophy around here. True. That's my favorite one so far. You're honestly a really kind-hearted and brave creator whose work acts as a protective barrier, a force for impervious energy when folks really need it. That's so sweet. Thank you so much, Zora. That's really sweet. That's really kind. That means a lot to me. Thank you for the Jules Unk alert. Wait, what happened? Talking. We should get Melvin and Aggie the GOAT trophy. Yes. No, I want Melvin and Aggie trophies. Yes. Yes. YouTube told me to redeem something, so I did. I don't know what it means. Keep podcasting, Queen. Thank you so much. Yes, I don't actually know what the jewels exactly are. I don't know. They're not super chats. They're separate than super chats, but I guess people can like redeem or buy jewels. I don't know. I don't know. But they're cute. Some of them are cute. I really like the GOAT one. That one is my favorite so far. It'd be cool if we could do custom ones. That would be cool. Like my custom Eggy and Melvin emojis. Those are so cute. Ow, okay. Okay, so back to this insanity. They're like hype points, I think. Oh, okay, but I don't even know what hype point means. Like, I don't even know what that means. Anyway, back to this. Where did I just last leave off? Oh, their perspectives. Yeah, as if we haven't heard their fucking perspective. Again, this energy is so 2019. We really need to hear the perspective of this. No, we've heard it. We heard it. Oh, we heard it. We heard it. We know. We've heard it loud and clear. We don't need their perspectives anymore. We got it. They've made themselves quite clear. No, you know what it is too that I find so deplorable about her comments here is that she is giving legitimacy to the Zionist perspective. It is not a legitimate perspective. It is a racist, genocidal, hateful, anti-Palestinian, anti-Muslim, fucking insane ideology. That perspective is not a legitimate perspective. It's a perspective of hate. It's a perspective of ethnic cleansing. It's a perspective of genocide. We heard it. We reject it. That is why we are anti-Zionist. Do you understand? That is why we are anti-Zionist. We know the perspective. We reject it. One more time for the people in the back. We don't need to hear the Zionist perspective any more than we already have. We know it. We are anti-Zionist because we reject it. We reject that fucking hateful, genocidal, racist ideology. It is a racist, dehumanizing, genocidal, vicious ideology. No, actually, Melat, we don't need to hear the fucking perspective anymore. This is like being like, guys, how are we going to protect the feelings of the white Africans in apartheid South Africa who are kind of feeling a little bit anxious about being like a minority? How are we going to protect the perspective and the fifis of white Americans who are anxious about brown immigrants? A lot of white supremacists and white nationalists in America are very anxious about the browning of the country and immigrants coming in. How are we going to center their feelings? What about the white supremacists and the racists in our country and like the fact that they're upset about demographic changes? How are we going to make them feel better? Like, what about them? We need to be centering their perspectives. Like, it's actually so fucking disgusting. Absolutely unacceptable. Okay, so that's the first part, okay?
Different perspectives, different positions, different experiences. You know, again, my values have always been rooted in protecting dignity and safety for every single person, especially as it relates to these inalienable things about our religion or ethnicity or our culture. And my greatest concern right now is
even the way she's talking to me is so fucking cringe. Like, it's just so cringe the way she's talking. I'm just like so concerned about like these like inalienable issues. And like my biggest concern right now is like Israel's feelings. Bro. I actually like I fucking can't, bro.
that the state of Israel is losing support.
That's your biggest concern?
The political spectrum here in the US. And I believe that
Why does that concern you?
I think
I
we're
like
leaving
how
a vacuum
even Margaret
on the left,
Hoover is
in the
like
progressive wing.
Why are you concerned by that? Margaret Hoover, who also is a raging Zionist. Margaret Hoover is a Christian Zionist. Why does that concern you? Yeah, I would like to know, why does it concern you that they're losing support? The fact that the regime that is committing genocide right now, that is doing a Holocaust in Gaza, that is killing Palestinians every single day, over 2,000 Palestinians have been killed since the fucking ceasefire, that many are openly talking about now building settlements on Palestinian graves in Gaza, that they're doing pogroms all over the occupied West Bank and taking more and more of their territory. The fact that they're losing support is good, actually. Is good, actually. What do you mean you're concerned that they're losing support? My biggest concern right now is that the apartheid South African state is losing support. Yeah. My biggest concern right now is that the South African apartheid regime is losing support. No, it's actually good that they're losing support. What do you mean? I literally can't. I just can't. It's actually good that they're losing support, actually. And it also is very telling and very fucking insane that she said that's her biggest concern. Not the apartheid, not the occupation, not the fact that the Israeli regime is bragging about the fact that they've taken over 75% of Gaza now and that they're going to take more, not the fact that they're talking actively about building settlements on Palestinian graves in Gaza, not the fact that there are pogroms all over the occupied West Bank happening right now, where Palestinians are getting killed in the occupied West Bank by terrorist settlers, and no one's doing anything about it. They're stealing their homes. They're setting their livestock on fire. They're killing their animals. That doesn't concern you. That's not your biggest concern. No, your biggest concern is that the apartheid regime is losing global support. This is fucking insane.
On the left and the progressive wing, leaving a vacuum.
What about us
on
on the left on the progressive wing?
I think we're leaving a vacuum on the left and the progressive wing to speak to this criticism in a way that is in line with our values.
What criticism? What is the criticism exactly? What is the criticism that she's talking about? I don't really want to watch the whole interview because I want to keep my blood pressure at a reasonable rate. But what is she talking about? When she says, we have left a vacuum on the progressive left when it comes to this criticism. What do you mean? Because the progressive left has the right position. What do you mean? What do you mean? Does anybody know what she's talking about when she says that? I feel that we have left a vacuum on the progressive left when it comes to this issue. What is the vacuum that we have left? What does she mean? I get the part where she says there's a vacuum that's getting filled by real anti-Semites. There's a vacuum that's getting filled by anti-Semites and white supremacists like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, which, by the way, you just were talking about how you were concerned about the white supremacist state of Israel. So why are you saying you're concerned about a vacuum getting filled by white supremacists like Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson when you were just saying that you were concerned about the white supremacist, the Jewish supremacist state of Israel not being liked around the world, that it's losing support? Which one is it? Which one is it? So I want to know what vacuum she's talking about when it comes to this criticism, because the progressive left has the right position. The position is end the occupation, end the apartheid, defund Israel, put an arms embargo on Israel, Palestinian right to self-determination and the right to return. Those are the progressive left positions. What's the problem, Donna? What's the problem, Donna? What vacuum are you talking about that we're leaving? Because I know you're not talking about anti-Semitism, because the progressive left oppose anti-Semitism. That's why there are anti-Zionist Jews. That's why anti-Zionist Jews are always on the left. Because the progressive left, the anti-Zionist left, opposes all forms of hate and racism and bigotry, and that includes the progressive left opposes anti-Semitism. Obviously. So what do you mean? What vacuum are you talking about?
To where people like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, who are raging anti-Semites and white supremacists and Christian nationalists, are pretending to care about Palestinian safety when really it's just masking their overt hatred for Jewish people.
You're singing my song.
And
You're singing my song. First of all, I feel like every time I've watched Tucker Carlson talk about the Israeli regime, he actually always prefaces it with, I love Israel. I've gone there so many times. It's my favorite place in the world. So, like, what are you even talking about? Like, he's not anti-Zionist. That's number one. That's number one. But number two, when she's like, you're singing my song, Margaret Hoover, again, is a raging Christian Zionist. She's a radical Zionist. So I don't know, Melat, maybe the fact that she's calling you, oh, you're singing my song, girl. I totally agree with you. That should raise a red flag. No, that should raise a red flag. Yeah, exactly. I don't even know what she's fucking talking about when it comes to Tucker Carlson, because Tucker Carlson is not actually an anti-Zionist. He's not. He criticizes Israel's government sometimes because that's where the public opinion is right now. And Tucker Carlson is a chameleon. And he goes where public opinion is. Tucker Carlson supports J.D. Vance, who is a raging, psychotic, deranged, delusional Zionist. So I don't know what you're talking about. He's not against Israel.
if we are not presenting our vision
We
of
do.
what we believe in with our democratic values,
We
that
do.
extends not just to the Palestinian people, but to the Israeli people and to the Jewish people, that land has a distinctly Jewish character.
The fuck are we even talking about right now? Again, when Margaret Hoover's like, she's singing my song. You're singing my song. It's like, yeah, you probably shouldn't take that as a compliment, Kiros. You probably shouldn't take that as a compliment. But also, again, look at how she did that. The land has... these are literally Zionist talking points, you guys. Like, actually straight up AIPAC talking points. These are actually AIPAC talking points. The land... oh, they just have so many ties to it. And again, she doesn't just say Jewish. You'll notice she said Israeli right before then. Yes, there are Jewish people who have always been in the land, just like there are always Palestinian people who have been on the land. There have always been Muslim people who have been on the land. In fact, a lot of the early Jews that were on that land later converted to Islam and are the descendants. But that's not what she did. If you guys saw that sleight of hand right before then, she said Israeli. Israeli, meaning the state of Israel that was created in 1948. Now, we see you. We see you. And then again, she's doing the directly AIPAC talking point of, oh, well, they have ties to the land and it's really complicated. And there's been a lot of fighting for thousands of years. So it's just really complicated. No, watch. She does it right here.
A distinctly Christian character, a distinctly Muslim character.
Yeah.
It's a land that has seen bloodshed for...
Oh, see, that's why what she says there is so sus. Because it also, putting it in context, the context of what she says after and what she says before. I want you guys to like dissect this, okay? It's not just that she said it has a uniquely Christian, Jewish, and Muslim character. That is actually true and not problematic in and of itself. What makes it problematic is her statement right before and right after. The two statements she bookends them with. Because again, there have always been the land of that area, which changes over time, has always had Jews and Muslims and Christians. Muslims once Islam was created, Christians once Christianity was created. But the Palestinians are the descendants of that land, many of whom were Jewish, many of whom became Christian, many of whom became Muslim. So that's actually not the problem. Again, the problem is the way that she frames it. Frames it first by starting it with Israeli. So she's connecting the modern creation, modern nation state, UN created nation state of Israel to that statement. And then she ends it with, and it's just really complicated. Like there's been bloodshed for years, for thousands of years. That is what they do. That is how they muddy the waters, by being like, listen, both sides, who really knows? Christian, Muslim, Jew. It's been going on for thousands of years, framing it as a religious debate rather than the debate that it should be framed as the colonization by European settlers of Palestinian land since 1948 and even before that. You see what I mean? You see what I mean when I say it's not just a line? She calls it a line in her apology, which I'm going to show you guys. She calls it a line. She goes, oh, there's a line that I misspoke, but it wasn't just a line. As you can see, as we're going through this clip, it is her entire framing. It is the entire answer. It is the entire clip. It is the way she frames everything in this clip. It is so disgusting that she frames it that way, because that is Zionist framing. That is Zionist framing. To say there, it is very, we've got to think about, how it's making everybody feel as far as like Israelis. And then she says the thing about it having this unique religious character. And then she says the thing about how there's been bloodshed for thousands of years, which again is such a disgusting thing to say and to bookend with that, because what you need to understand about that framing, if you already don't, is that frames it and muddies the water about what is actually happening there. That frames it the way a lot of Christian Zionists frame it. Oh, there's just been bloodshed there for thousands of years. It's a religious conflict, bloodshed there for thousands of years. The Muslims hate the Christians and the Christians hate the Jews and the Jews hate the Christians and Muslims. And it's just a really ugly religious debate that's been happening for thousands of years. And it's really complicated. No, it's not. And that's fucking crazy framing for a leftist to use. That is fucking crazy framing for somebody on the progressive left to use. What do you mean you're on the progressive left and you won as a fucking leftist? And you're talking like that and you're framing it like that. There's not a big enough side eye. There's not a big enough side eye. I don't have enough eyes for how much side eye she deserves. Because what do you mean? What do you mean you ran as a progressive leftist who understands the struggle, who ran on the fact that you got fired from your job for speaking out for Palestine, and then you turn around and do the it's complicated, both sides bloodshed for thousands of years routine? What? Were you coached by Jeremy Benamy or whatever the fuck the owner's name of J Street is before this? What is this garbage? No, here's what I'm trying to say to you guys. There is no fucking excuse for this. Do you hear me? There is no fucking excuse to be talking like this. This is how I would hear Christians talk who literally knew nothing about it in like 2020. This is how my dad talked as like a Christian Zionist who also really didn't know anything about it. And I had to explain to him why that talking point was problematic. The fact that she would say something like this as a pro-Palestine, allegedly anti-Zionist progressive leftist who ran on Palestinian liberation? Absolutely the fuck not. Absolutely the fuck not. There is no excuse for that answer. Literally no excuse for that answer. That answer was trash. It is so fucking sus. It is so sus that you would say something like that in the year of our Lord 2026, 3 years into the genocide. Everything else I set aside. Everything else I set aside about how she's educated. She knows. She ran on this. She understands the occupation. She calls herself an anti-Zionist. And then you would turn around 3 years into the genocide. 3 years into the genocide and say that? And say that? Three years in the genocide, and you would say that. That you would frame it that way. It is not just about what people say, it's how they say it.
Centuries. And we, I think, are doing a disservice to the people of that region by not offering our progressive vision in a way that isn't immediately swatted down as, bigoted or anti-Semitic.
What? We are. What? No. The left does. What do you mean? She just said we're doing a disservice by not offering our own vision that isn't swatted down as anti-Semitic. First of all, you know as well as anybody else who's been a part of this movement, they're going to call you anti-Semitic anyway. What do you mean? You know as well as everybody else. You know as well as anyone that they're going to call you anti-Semitic no matter what. People who say they believe in a two-state solution still, liberal Zionists are still called anti-Semitic. In a way that's not swatted? No, actually. First of all, it is your job to change that framing. When she says, oh, we need to come up with a progressive vision that isn't just going to be swatted down as anti-Semitic. No, there is a progressive vision. And when people swat it down as anti-Semitic, you fight them. You fight them. You tell them, no, it's actually not anti-Semitic. It is pro-human. It is pro-human. It is anti-racist. It is not your job, actually, or anyone's job on the progressive left to come up with a vision that speaks to the issue without getting immediately swatted down as anti-Semitic. That's actually not your job. Your job, as well as everybody else's job, is to change the framing of the debate. Your job is not to center Zionist feelings. Your job is to center the struggle and the annihilation that is happening to the Palestinians. And to say, this is our vision, and if people say that it's anti-Semitic, you argue why it's not. She doesn't say what her vision is in this clip. But I know what the vision is because we've all been talking about it and it's well established. Again, if I need to say it again, the vision is free Palestine, okay? End the occupation, reparations to the Palestinians, right of return of the Palestinians, end the apartheid, sanctions on the Israeli regime, complete arms embargo. And when people say, oh, well, saying that you shouldn't be killing people in Gaza anymore and stealing what's left of their land is actually anti-Semitic, that's your fucking cue to come in and say, actually, it's not. Actually, it's not. Here's why. And lay out the fucking human rights abuses and what it actually, you know what this is literally akin to? It's literally akin to saying, The progressive left really needs to come up with a vision for civil rights for Black people that isn't automatically swatted down as anti-white. This entire framing centers Zionist feelings. This entire framing centers Israeli Zionist feelings. We got to come up with the progressive left for a vision that doesn't upset white people. Like, I'm pro-human and everything and like pro-civil rights, but we need to come up with a vision of like immigration that doesn't upset white supremacists, you know, that doesn't like get immediately swatted down as like anti-white racism, you know. That's literally the energy she's bringing here. We need to come up with a way to like speak to these issues that isn't swatted down as anti-Semitic. It's not. It's not. So again, that's your job. That is your job to present the vision. That is your job to fight for the policies. That is your job to present the vision of the progressive left, to say, we believe in human rights. We believe in human dignity for all people, which necessitates the end to the occupation of the Palestinian people, the end to the genocide, an arms embargo on the Israeli regime, an end to all funding, getting them the fuck out of the occupied West Bank and Gaza. Like, that is the vision, and it's your job to present it, not to use their framing. It is your job to present that vision, not to use their framing. And if you can't, you should probably move the fuck out of the way. Thank you so much for the generous super chat, Zora. I love you all, but Melat is working an angle that is sorta not a lie because she cares about all of humanity, but she's totally feigning concern in a masterful way that is obviously pissing Margaret off. She saw AOC first interview and conducted with Hoover. Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for the generous super chat, Zora. Yeah. No, she needs to be widely condemned. I'm not saying at this, I'm not ready to say yet that she has to lose, because this is one clip and we'll see how she continues to do and how she responds to this. I'm going to be watching for how she responds to this and how she speaks going forward. I'm not going to say throw her out immediately after one clip. Although this is pretty bad. This is pretty bad. But I'm going to hold my fire on saying that we should throw her out completely after one clip. That's not how you sway them. But Dawn, that's not how you sway them. You don't sway them by giving into their framing. That's not how you sway them. I understand. I am not an unreasonable man. I understand that you need to try to get people into your coalition, right? That you need to sway people. But there are certain things that are non-negotiables. We're not going to try to sway people like toward being more pro-immigrant by saying shit like, and I was thinking a lot about white supremacist feelings and like how we need to understand that it's really complicated. And a lot of white people are just really uncomfortable with all those like brown people coming in and taking their jobs. And we got to make space for that. No. Why are the Palestinians the only people asked to have their humanity thrown under the bus? We rightfully don't do that when it comes to Black people. We don't say, oh, well, when it comes to Black people having basic civil rights and how they should have basic voting rights, we really need to understand that, like, there's still a lot of white people that don't like Black people and kind of don't want them to have voting rights. No, no, no. We fight it and we say you're fucking racist and you're a white supremacist and it's unacceptable. And we need to fight tooth and nail to ensure that Black people have voting rights and representation. And we should be fighting tooth and nail for things like DC statehood. When we say Black people should have reparations, Black Americans should have reparations, and people say white people freak out and go, why? My people didn't own slaves. I mean, my immediate ancestors. It was like way back, or my ancestors never owned slaves. I'm from Slovenia or whatever the fuck. We don't go, that's right. It's understandable that you have a lot of white resentment. No, we make our case, you guys. We make our case. We don't give in. And again, we don't do this with immigration either. Palestinians are the only people that when it comes to their humanity, and they're the ones who are in an active genocide right now, we're like, okay, it's fine if we throw them under the bus because, we need to politically, make Zionists feel comfortable. It's totally fine to throw Palestinians under the bus and their humanity because we need to make Jewish supremacists feel comfortable. No. Absolutely the fuck not. No. Palestinian humanity is not acceptable to throw them under the bus. Do you want to inspire people to come to your side? Yes. And it is actually the work of Jewish people first and foremost to be doing that work. In the same way that it is the white person's job, first and foremost, to be trying to help deconstruct the white supremacy within their own families and the white supremacy within white people, that is our job first and foremost. It is not the responsibility of Black people to do. The same thing applies to Palestinians and Jewish people. If you're Jewish and you're anti-Zionist and you have a Zionist Jewish family member, it is your job to be doing that work. And there are anti-Zionist Jews that are doing that work in such a great, excellent way. People like Jacob Berger and people like, oh my gosh, why am I blanking on his name? David, who runs the account David Says Stuff. He does such good work, anti-Zionist Jewish work, calling in and calling out his own community members. Norm Finkelstein. It is the responsibility of the people in their community. It is not the responsibility of Palestinians or people in the pro-Palestine movement, for that matter, to be throwing Palestinian liberation and human rights under the bus so that we can make Jewish supremacists feel comfortable. No. We make the case. We make the case for human rights for all people. We make the case for Palestinian liberation and human rights and reparations, an end to the occupation, an arms embargo on the Israeli regime. We make that case. And we tell the Zionists that they need to come to our side. We try to persuade them to come to our side with those facts. We do not do so throwing Palestinians under the bus. And her saying that is saying that that's what we should do. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Her saying, and we need to do so and inspire people to our side without being accused of being anti-Semitic. No, actually, that's not how you do it. Because what you're actually saying, the subtext is by throwing Palestinians under the bus and coddling Zionist feelings. No. You do it by making the case for human rights, by making the case for Palestinian liberation, by making the case for all human rights and dignity. And then you tell Zionists that they need to deconstruct their racism and come to our side. You need to make the case to Zionists that they have been brainwashed and that they need to deconstruct their racism and supremacist attitudes and come to the right side. That's what you do. like I said, somebody said, what should we do? This isn't about what we should do, except for not excuse it. No, what you should be asking is, what's she gonna do? That's what you should be asking. What is she gonna do? Because again, I'm not ready to totally throw her out yet. I want to see the way that she continues to respond to the criticism, and she needs to. Her one statement on Twitter is not enough. Her one statement on Twitter is not enough. She needs to answer for this more. She needs to answer specifically all those questions. One on Twitter is not enough. So what I'm saying is, what we need to do is we need to watch the way she continues to respond to this, and we need to hold her accountable. Watch how she responds to this and continues to respond to this, and hold her accountable. Again, I'm not totally ready to throw her out yet. Maybe this is a one-off. I fear it's not. I fear it's not, but maybe it's a one-off. And if it is, cool. But if it's not and she keeps this shit up, then I don't want her to win. Unironically. You shouldn't get to step over Palestinians and use them as a ladder to win and then throw them under the bus. Because it says a lot about who you are. And if you're willing to do that, you are also willing to throw all the rest of us under the bus. So she needs to apologize, and everybody needs to hold her accountable and call on her to apologize and call on her to correct her statements on camera. She needs to correct her statements on camera. And you need to hold her accountable. Again, this cannot be tolerated. I need you guys not to make excuses for her. You don't make excuses for her. Hold her feet to the fire and tell her this is not acceptable. There can be no quarter for this. There can be no quarter for this. If you let this slide, they're going to keep doing it. They're going to keep doing it. If you let it slide, you can't let it slide. I want to see her apologize for this. I want to see her correct every statement on camera. And then I never want to hear her talk like this again. That's what I want. And she should apologize not only to the left, to the progressives, to everybody that voted for her, to everybody that donated for her, for everybody that fucking made calls for her and knocked on doors for her. She also needs to apologize to the Palestinian community writ large, because this was fucking gross. Is that clear? I also want her to commit on camera to votes that she's going to take, to how she will vote. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. We can ask her to clarify her comments, to apologize for her comments, to address her comments specifically on camera and explain. And she does owe an explanation. And then to commit to voting the right way once she's in Congress. And to apologize to the progressive left and the Palestinian community. It's not enough just to tweet. This is too fucked up. This is too fucked up just to like let go with a tweet. And again, the reason why it's important that we really call her out and demand this is because if you don't hold her accountable now, you will get more of this. If you don't hold her accountable now, we will get more of this. She needs to be held accountable now. Her feet needs to be held to the fire now. Not later, now.
And that's going to require a lot of conversations, a lot of hard conversations. There will be things that we learn, things that there will be missteps and mistakes made. But as long as we're continuing that conversation, we are at the very least presenting an actual vision in line with our values that can combat and hopefully silence a lot of the anti-Semitism that's coming from the right, because we're leaving that vacuum wide open right now if we are afraid to have these conversations.
We're not,
One of the things-
actually. We're not actually. Yeah, that was the end of the bullshit garbage clip. We're actually not leaving a vacuum open because we're not afraid to have the conversations. We are having the conversations, actually. I'm having the conversation all the time. We're actually not afraid of having it. What the fuck are you even talking about? Literally, she does sound like Kamala Harris here, unironically. Yeah, I find this so much more offensive than anything AOC has done because AOC never was really anti-Zionist. That's the difference. That's the difference. AOC, you know, people hold AOC to that standard of like, yeah, you're on the left and you say you're pro-Palestine, so we should be holding her to a high standard. But even AOC never ran and leaned in as heavily on pro-Palestinian liberation as she did. AOC never called herself an anti-Zionist. She did. So to me, this is actually worse. Yeah, I want to know who her new J Street handler is. Total trash. She is clean of AIPAC money. She doesn't take any money from AIPAC. Neither does AOC. This just pissed me off so much, bro. This just pissed me off so much. Especially since I was really excited about her. Oh. AIPAC tracker says that she's clean. Yes, and that is good. But again, kind of the point of watching AIPAC is because usually it is a barometer of where they stand on the issues. You're still going to get criticized even if you don't take AIPAC money if you're still parroting Zionist talking points. No, and I'm not saying that people can't mess up, people can't, make mistakes. I just think that this whole answer is really, really disturbing. It's very disturbing. And maybe it was a one-off. I hope so. Because like I said, I was really excited about her. And she gave an interview shortly after her win that I thought was so good. Like an interview about whether or not she would support Hakeem Jeffries as speaker, and she gave a really great answer. So it's not like she doesn't know how to talk. Yeah, so Cori Bush never did this, by the way. Cori Bush never did this. She always stood on business, which is why you need to vote for her on Tuesday. Which, by the way, we only have 10 minutes left. So let me pull up the AIPAC tracker things of the endorsed candidates for you guys to vote for on Tuesday. Regarding her, to wrap this up, I would say that my encouragement to you, my encouragement to you would be to call her out. Call her out. Tweet at her. Tell her to go on a show and explain it. Get in her comments section. I don't think she has an office yet. She might not have an office yet, but she does, call it. She needs to know she's a politician. She's not your friend. She's not your buddy. She's a politician. She needs to know that this is unacceptable. She needs to know that this is unacceptable. She doesn't need your excuses. She doesn't need your patty cakes. She doesn't need your, oh, but actuallys. She needs to be held accountable, and she needs to hear you tell her it's unacceptable. That's how I'll wrap that part up. I'm not saying don't vote for her yet. It is July. The election is not until November. She still has time to clean this up. She does. She has time to clean this up, but I'll be watching. Oh, I'll be watching. We should all be watching. And I will be side-eyeing with diabolical levels of side-eye. There will be a lot of side-eye shaking in the chats. But in the meantime, I would encourage every single one of you to let her know how you feel. However you can get in contact with her. Get in her comment section on Twitter or Threads. Get in her comment section on Instagram. Call her office if she has set up an office yet. Let her know. Let her know that she needs to answer for this and how you feel about this. She needs to hear it. Because it sounds to me like right now, she's listening to them. It sounds to me right now that she's listening to them. And she needs to be listening to us. Like it. Side-eye sugar. All right, so I only have a few minutes left. So we are going to go to AIPAC Tracker and look at their endorsements. And again, if you live in Missouri 1 or know anybody in Missouri 1, tell them to vote for Cori Bush on Tuesday, because that clown needs to go. That rodeo clown needs to go. Candidates are endorsed candidates. Okay. All right. So we have Rob Ryers for Arizona 3, Elizabeth Lee for Arizona 5, Mai Vang for California 7, Connie Chan for California 11. Should have been Choi Chakrabarty, but Randy Villagas, but she is a significant improvement from Scott Wiener. So if you are in California 11, it is definitely better to vote for her. Randy Villagas for California 22. Tessa Lynn Hodge. Oh my gosh, I didn't even bring it up, bro. We only have a few minutes left. Okay. Yeah, if you are in California 11, which is the Nancy Pelosi district, I would definitely say it is better to vote for Connie Chan. So yeah, them, which is the ones I already went over. Angela Gonzalez Torres for California 34. Angelica Duenas for California 29. Jillian Gilchrist for Connecticut 1. Melat Kiros for Colorado 1. I'll be like, this should be blinking. Andrew Rice, Angie Nixon, Maria Lana Quinter, Elijah Manley. Oh, Elijah Manley is a big one too. Make sure that you vote for Elijah Manley, guys. Make sure you tell your friends about it. That's a big one. He's going against Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who is such a fucking hack. And she's like carpetbagged her way into this black district that she has no business running in. Like, fuck out of here. She needs to get trounced. So yes, please, Elijah. All of these are important, obviously, but there are some that to me are like marquee that are a really big deal. Bernard Taylor, that's another big one. Oliver Larkin, that one's huge. That's Jared Moskowitz, that fucking hack. Jared Moskowitz is such a hack. He's literally a warmongering, basically Republican. So yeah, that clown the fuck out of here. Vote for Oliver Larkin. That's a big one. Paul Nolly, Drew Cox, Sarah Peru, Nicole Laughlin, Charles Booker. That's a really big one too. I don't know if Mitch McConnell is dead yet, but Charles Booker is a really good candidate. He's running for Senate. That's a big one. Vote for him. Jeremy Whalen. He's a good one too. He's running against some fucking AIPAC shill in Massachusetts. One. Jason Palos, Abdul El Sayed. Obviously, this is probably the biggest race of Tuesday is Abdul El Sayed. Kyle Bloomquist. Diop Harris, William Lawrence, Aisha Faruqi for Michigan 11. That actually is a big one too. So is Donovan McKinney. All of these Michigan races are really important, okay? Aisha Faruqi, Donovan McKinney. Vote for them. Don't forget your down ballot, folks. Don't forget your down ballot, folks, because Aisha Faruqi and Donovan McKinney are also really important races in Michigan, as well as William Lawrence and Diop Harris. Cori Bush obviously is a big one. I would consider Cori Bush probably the second most important race of Tuesday because we're trying to send a message, folks. We're trying to send a message. Wesley Bell is a fucking AIPAC shill and he needs to lose. Wesley Bell is an AIPAC shill and he needs to lose. Okay? So, vote for Cori Bush. And Cori Bush also was a good fucking congresswoman, you know? She was a good congresswoman who got targeted by AIPAC because she was pro-Palestine. And she actually stood on business, unlike our friend in Colorado, who I won't name. She actually stood on business. So make sure to vote for her. Tell everybody to vote for her. You can phone bake for her this weekend. You can volunteer if you are in Missouri, because at least you know what you're getting with Cori Bush. People who phone bake for Melat Kiros, and now she's doing this shit. At least you know if you phone bank for Cori Bush, which if you are having any time to phone bank this weekend, phone bank for her tomorrow. You can do that from anywhere in the country because, again, like we know what we're getting with her. She was already in office and she stood on business. So I think it's really important that Cori Bush get voted back into office, not only because she was pro-Palestine, stood on business, was a good congressional leader. She was a good House member, but also the message needs to be sent. The message needs to be sent. The message needs to be sent that if you're going to be a fucking AIPAC hack, you're going to lose. Because don't get it twisted. They are trying to send a message to you guys. AIPAC is trying to send their own message. So don't get that twisted. We need to ensure that we're sending a message and sending Cori Bush back to Congress. This guy also, Hartzell Gray in Missouri. He's a really good candidate. Vote for him. Ashley Bell, not to be confused with that hack Wesley Bell. Karishma Manzoor, Heath Howard, Paige Buckman, Analia Mahala, Adam Holloway. Oh, man, I would be so excited to vote for Adam Holloway if I were in New Jersey. He is awesome. He is awesome. I am going to be voting for Claire Valdez. She's in my district. Adam Holloway. He is awesome. Yes, Claire Valdez in my district. Vote for her. Karen Ortiz. Yes, vote for her. Daria Lisa Avila Chevalier, who is also fucking awesome. Vote for her. Jared Christian. Chris Rapp, who also is great. Vote for him. In Pennsylvania, 3. Justin Wagner, Justin Pearson, Danny Minton, Kyle Rabel, Stephen Shook, Tanya Lloyd, Frederick Haynes, Greg Stoker. Greg Stoker, fam. Vote for Greg Stoker. I think he's running on the Green Party line, but he's fucking awesome. Vote for him. Salam Body, Mo Shelton, Hunter Gordon, Brent Heinrich, John Daruski, and Shama Sawant. Shama Sawant is also running on the independent line. Yeah, Greg Stoker is voting or running on the Green Party line, and Shama Sawant is running on the independent line. Definitely vote for her against Adam Hack Smith. Yes. Yes. All right, fam. That is going to conclude. I didn't even get to finish my makeup. That is going to conclude today's stream. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Thank you to all of my channel members and my Twitch subscribers and my Ko-Fi members and my patrons. I love you guys all so much. Thank you to everybody who gave me a super chat this stream. Special shout out to Zora, who gave me the very large super chats. Thank you so much, Zora. I appreciate it so much. Thank you to everybody who gave jewels. I still don't really know what the jewels are, but I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you to everybody who participated. And I might. Actually, let me think about it and get back to you guys. But I love you, and free Palestine, and abolish ICE, and tweet at Melat Kiros and let her know how we all feel about her interview. Tuesday is going to be a big day. Oh, it's going to be a big day. Abdul El-Sayed has to win. He has to win. Am I going to be on Tuesday? I might. I might do a random stream. Yes, I am hinting. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure, but I might. We'll see. Melvin, what are you doing? Sometimes Melvin is like leans down like that and looks, and I'm like, what are you looking at? He obviously can see something I can't. Whatever. Anyway, I love you all. I'll see you on Thursday for sure. I might see you on Tuesday, depending on whether or not I get around to doing one, but I will definitely see you on Thursday. Please make sure to like the stream and subscribe to the channels if you are not already. And I will see you then. And follow me on all the platforms if you want to keep up with my other content. All right. Love you guys. Bye, everyone.